Cannabis has been the most frequent substance used by young people in the last few years. According to the United Nations report of February 2020, the use of psychoactive drugs and narcotics increased among young people. The UN showed some concern about this issue.
As reported by the International Narcotics Control Board, this report highlights the connection between the use of alcohol and tobacco and the consumption of psychoactive substances such as cannabis, opiates, and cocaine by adolescents and young people.
The use of these substances mostly influence people between 50 and 24 years old. The statistic recognized by the UN in 2016 noticed that almost 6% of teenagers have been affected by the use of cannabis. The original version of this article was written by Lusa News Agency, and you can find it at TSF online. Live from Vialonga, the Media Lab DN reporters Daria Deaconescu, Cristiana Bălașa, and Luciana Santos.
In 2020, the Portuguese dining business like restaurants, bars and hotels have lost 70% of the usual revenue from alcohol consumption because of the pandemic.
Due to the pandemic, there was hardly any tourism, which had a major impact on the sales of alcoholic drinks. Experts predicted that it will take 5 years to compensate for the consumption decrease of 2020. This data comes from a study from consulting firm EA, which predicts that the sales of alcohol of the sector will not reach the usual 20 million liters until 2024.
The original version of this article was written by Elidia Pinto, and you can find an online version of this in Diário de Notícias. Live from Vialonga, the reporters for Media Lab, DN,
Linda Dürr,
Johannes Rüdisser,
and Leonor Castro.
A global review has published Swiss students on smoking. They are the conclusion.
The biggest smoking population comes from China. 1 million people die each year from tobacco use.
The largest number of deaths in the world are from active smokers.
Live from Vialonga, the reportage from Media Lab DN.
Baral Marie.
Atendirish.
Le Pagenola.
Researchers have found out that quarantine has not only caused effects on adults, but had intense consequences on people aged from 15 to 20 years old too, such as laziness and getting involved with drugs and alcohol. 35% of respondents have said that they have suffered changes in their weight, 30% have suffered sleep disturbances, and 9% consumed more alcohol and drugs after the quarantine.
There will be more investigations in the future about the impacts of the quarantine on teenagers. COVID-19 had a greater impact, although indirect in this age group. It wasn't only the older population that experienced these issues intensely. The younger generation suffered indirect impact and with significant differences.
They become much less active, much less regular in their sleep due to changes in their school hours. They no longer had the usual life cycles. Maria Emanuela Calheiros, coordinator of the Society chapter of the study, says, the original version of this article was written by Céu Neves, and you can find it on Diário de Notícias online. Live from Vialonga, the Media Lab, then reporters
Ataberk,
Mehmet Dennis,
and Gonçalo Canário.
A recent study made by Portuguese public organization SICAD, Intervention Service in Addictive Behaviors and Addictions, showed that a third of young adults aged 18 have already been heavily intoxicated.
According to the report, the majority of 18-year-olds have tried alcohol at least once in their life, and the numbers are growing. Intensive consumption of alcohol is a little more prominent among boys. Smoking tobacco amongst young people is getting less popular, but in comparison, drug use is increasing.
The original version of the article was written by Paulo Sofia Luz, and you can find it in Diário de Notícias. Live from Vialonga, the Media Lab DN reporters
Paulina Jarkova,
Milana Kiselova,
Joana Monteiro.
How do you think we could prevent the addictive effect of technology?
And do you consider yourself addicted?
Eu não sou viciado e fazendo mais exercício físico.
Como é que podemos prevenir os efeitos das adições da tecnologia?
Sei lá.
Não há maneira. Acho que já é difícil combater o vício da tecnologia.
Conseguindo-se com um bocadinho de força de vontade, hein?
Não mexer é a única maneira.
Evitar que as redes sociais criem métodos ou algoritmos para forçar com que a pessoa fique agarrado.
Se calhar passar menos horas.
Algo que impedisse que essas redes sociais tirassem informações pessoais nossas.
Talvez aconselhando a ler mais.
Fazer alguns programas com as crianças.
Construir mais espaços verdes e mais atividades para as crianças ao ar livre.
Do you consider yourself addicted?
Não.
Não sou viciada em tecnologia.
Eu não.
Agora já não sei responder.
Não uso muito.
O quê? Olha o Facebook, Instagram e WhatsApp.
Já não uso como antigamente.
Não, mas concordo que aquilo que é viciante, não é? Considero sim. Eu às vezes gosto de fazer uns joguinhos, mas se eu entender que no dia seguinte não faço, tiro os jogos e pronto. É uma forma de eu passar o tempo que tenho disponível quando não tenho trabalho. Estar a fazer jogos e ver Facebooks, essas coisas é viciante, mas temos também, o nosso cérebro também tem que funcionar, não é? A gente dizer assim, não, e agora vou parar.
Essa é a minha perspectiva.
Ok, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.